What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna start a new series here. We are still in beautiful Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And as some of you might know already, I am on a mission to become a polyglot. So besides visiting every country in the world, I want to speak at least 5 languages fluently before the age of 30. Right now I'm 25, so I have some time, but I'm trying to put a rush to it. Some of you might know that I speak Dutch, English and Spanish fluently at this moment. And I get a lot of questions about how I do it or how I did it or what tools I use to study. So I figured, now that I'm in Brazil, I'm gonna give myself a challenge. I'm gonna stay here for another 30 days and I'm gonna study Portuguese to see how good I can actually learn the language within 30 days using my own tools. Now all you need for this is your phone, and I'm going to show you guys exactly the tools that I use. As you can see on the screen right now, I use 3 apps only. These are the only apps that you need, and I hear you already saying, what about Duolingo? Let me tell you, the first step into learning a language is deleting the Duolingo app. On the right we have DeepL, which is just a dictionary with basically every language in the world. You're gonna need it from time to time. Like right now I'm with a local that helps me to translate stuff, but at the same time it's still always good to have a translator in your pocket. Then we have another app called Master. Now I highly recommend you get this app. It's free, but you can get the paid version as well. It's probably better to get the paid version, but for free you can also get a lot done. So basically what this is, I use the most common words. This for me, I call it like a word finder. So basically you play a game, it's called the 500 most common words, and then you do a multiple choice as to what word you need to fill in. And the way that I use it is that isso, diz, tudo. If you don't know the word yet, like one round is 10 words. I guess por enquanto, let's see. Okay, so the word pensar is probably think. So if I'm not sure yet, I go back to DeepL and I put in pensar. But actually we can do it right now to show. Thinking. And then any word that I didn't know yet, I go to my notes. As you can see right now, I started yesterday and I put in a bunch of words already. Now mind you, the translation, I translate from Portuguese to Spanish because it's easier for my brain, I guess. But when there's a word that I don't know yet, I go, okay, we got the different keyboards. Pensar equals, and then in Spanish it's actually the same word. So we do that enough times with the Master app to get new words, bigger vocabulary. It's not necessarily that everything that you do in Master you will remember, but it helps a lot to up your vocabulary and to find new words. So basically you're okay, garota, okay, garota is girl. So we go garota equals chica, or whatever. Now you get the gist of it. So we got DeepL to translate, we got Master to find words, and now we got the app, the main app that you're gonna use, which is Anki. It costs $25 for a one-time purchase. I purchased it around 3 or 4 years ago, and I have to say it's the best purchase of my life. So basically what you do, you make different decks. I can show you guys my Spanish decks. So this is the one that I use for all of my Spanish studies. So you start with the 625 most used words. This is what I used, but you can just start with words. You put in words, they make conjugations. Mind you, you make all of these decks yourself. So you put in words, you put in conjugations, you put in expressions, por versus para, which was something that I struggle with in Spanish, and ser versus estar. Now you might think, well, what is this like? What does this do? So basically what you do is you make a deck, and in that deck you make cards. So the card itself, this one is o copo, which means a cup, like a cup of water. So you put in the word, the Portuguese word or whatever language it is that you're learning. You put in the word only in that language. You don't put any translations, and then on the other side of the card you put a picture. Now if we go to edit, you can see I put a picture of a cup that was just right in front of me. A lot of times I will just look around and take pictures of things and use those things to put in the app. So you take a picture, and then on the back side you put o copo, like the word of it, and then on the top right at the top too you can see a little microphone, and then you can either speak in it yourself, use a translator that many times they have the option to put in a word, Or what I did, because I'm living with a local right now, I just ask her, how do you pronounce it? And then I might put in a bunch of words and then go to Helena and ask her to put in the translation or the pronunciation. So then, okopo, I knew this. So before you press, I say okopo, okay, it's a cup. When you press, you get the option. There, every word, like every card that you do has the option. Red, which means you don't know it yet, like you don't remember, it has to come back. So like the card will repeat itself. Orange, which is I kind of know, but I'm not too sure yet. Green, which is like I know it, no problem, I know what this means. And blue is like easy. Don't even ask me, like if you're learning Spanish, it will be like el gato, you know, like the cat. Okay, don't even ask me anymore. So what this does is, let's say you put in 100 words in a day, which is a lot. The words that you know very well, they will like, it's called the space repetition program. So the space in which it gets repeated again becomes larger because you know those words already. Now the couple of words, maybe there's like 30 words that you just can't remember, they keep repeating because you keep putting red until you start understanding it a bit. So once you've done red and then it comes back again and you have the word correctly, so you know green, then it will come back in 1 day. So then tomorrow will be back. Then if you get green again, it will come back in like 3 days. Then if you do green again, it will come back around 7 days, 8 days. You get the point. So basically what this does, like I don't know exactly how it works for your brain, but I know that doctors use this app to study. This is like what it was originally made for. And then there was a guy that spoke 12 languages that used this app to learn languages. So I mean, he speaks 12. I just listen to him. So for me right now, basically what I've done is I've gathered a bunch of words, like the basics, you know, like where, or a thing, or everyone, or yes or no, or he or her, or whatever, like, or about, or the word or, like whatever are like the most basic stuff, I will write down in my notes and I will get the translation, I will put them into Anki and I will repeat it every day. Then the second part will be, and I will start doing it today, will be the verbs. So I looked up the 8 most common verbs: to be, to eat, to drink, to go, like the most to have the most basic verbs that you can think of that you will use in the human language, and then I will look up their conjugations. So only the present tense. So eu, tu, você, ela, nós, vós, like all of the basics. I wrote them down last night, and then I'll make a new deck with the verbs. I can show you how I've done this in Spanish. So we go to conjugations, and then you basically have a sentence. I went very late to the party, or I arrived very late, and then you have venir in the pretérito. So this is past tense. So I know that it is yo vine. Okay, so then you know that's a green. Nosotros no, como es que nos dieron cuenta. We don't see how they don't realize. Like you just have to make a basic sentence, but put the verb in there, and then leave it as a blank. Now I can go into more detail about how to do those things, but for now, for today, we're keeping it easy. So then it will be like ver, nosotros, present tense, vemos. Okay, I know this. So that's basically how it's going to go. So the first step is going to be words. I'm just gathering words. I'm doing close master, like as much as I can every day, maybe like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You do need a paid version to do unlimited words. Then whatever word I don't know, I write down in my notes, and then by the end, I go to Helena and I say, hey, is this correct, this translation? And then I look up like pictures with them and I put the words into Anki. And then secondly, after the words comes the conjugations. This is what they do wrong in school, you know. In school they will teach you you have to conjugate verbs and all of these like hard grammar without even knowing what the sentence is. So the first thing is learning the words. So we're learning the words, then we're getting the conjugations. Then I like to put in like a couple of like common expressions that maybe you can use somewhere. Like even if it's not like the most useful, like still every now and then I would just like put in a little like expression in Spanish or something. They'll be like, oh, how do you know that? So it just helps and it just makes it like kind of easier. Also for my French, what I did was like I will use like phrases like very je ne comprends pas, like oh I don't understand, like very just a simple sentence that you can just use in many occasions, like what time is it, or what's her name, or you know how much is it, how much does it cost, these kind of basic stuff. So for right now, I'm focused on the Anki. We're getting the words in, and then later on we can get into more detail about other things that you can do, like secondary things, like listening to music in Portuguese. I went to Elena. I said, "Show me your playlist," you know, and like she only plays Brazilian music, and then I would say, "Okay, what's the name of this song?" Like whatever song I like, I will add to my playlist and I will play it. And every night we watch a movie. We either watch a Brazilian movie in Portuguese with Portuguese subtitles, or an English movie, or a movie where they speak English with Portuguese subtitles still. Then once that starts going, you can start getting into reading. So what I would do is like I would read like a children's book with like 50 pages, and then whatever word I didn't understand I would like mark, and then later on write it down again, and then eventually you can, of course there's no replacement, like the best thing that you can do is to go out and to talk to people. Or in this case I'm living with Elena, so we can just speak, or she can just say some stuff. But the best way is just to dive into the deep, go into a country that speaks the language, and then just talk with locals, try and whatever sentences that you do know, try and use them, and then little by little, like it will just work. So right now the only thing I know is like muito bom or muito prazer. I think it's like nice to meet you. But let's see, like every day I'm gonna film my progress. I'm gonna study as much as I can every day, and then we're gonna see in 30 days how good I can get my Portuguese. I don't know if it can get like fluent, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it my all. I got nothing else to do but to make videos and to study, so it should be good. But for now, I'm gonna go through all of the words every morning. You know, you gotta like clear out the Anki is what I call it. Like go through all the words, and then I'm gonna add the verbs, and then I'm gonna add some more words, and then I'm gonna see if we can get into even some different tenses, or maybe I'm just gonna. Right now we have 8 verbs that I've written down. Maybe I'll add like, let's say 20 verbs in total, and like their present tense, so you can kind of see the patterns, like you can recognize the patterns, and then we can start getting into past tense, present perfect, this kind of stuff. Anyway, this is like the mission for right now. This is going to be the new series, so I'm going to take you guys along. I will do some live streams as well of me studying and of me going out there and talking with people, and then probably falling flat on my face and doing terrible, but we'll see. I hope you guys enjoy this, and yeah, I'm just gonna track my entire process of how I'm gonna do this, and I feel good about it. So let's go. Alright guys, so I just finished studying. It took me about 3 hours to get all of the words from my notes into Anki. I think there's about like 100 to 150 words, and then I put the present tense of estar, ser, fazer, ter, or to be, to make, to have, to come, to go, to eat, and to drink. So I've put those 8 verbs, which are the most common verbs. I've put the present tense, made a new map with those, and then I've added like about 150 words. So now I'm going to go outside, try and talk with some people, and I'm gonna get some groceries, some basic stuff, and I'm gonna see if I can make any conversation. If there's anything that I can say or like use in a conversational sense. It's gonna be bad, it's gonna be awkward probably, but I have the mindset that like everybody here is like NPCs, you know? This is kind of the way that I think about it. So I'm gonna take you guys with me, and I'm gonna see if I can make some conversation on day 1. Alright guys, we are here now. So this is the grocery store right here. Let's go buy some stuff and see if we can talk with some people. Ash bananas, I remember that. Olá, senhor. Tudo bem? Alright, we've talked to our first person. Olá, licença. I think licença is like excuse me, but I'm not sure. Alright, I'm gonna get a donut and I'm gonna ask how you say it. Let's see how this goes. Olá, tudo bom? Uma pergunta. Como se diz isso?
Adonis.
Adonis?
É.
Eu quero uma.
Qual cor? Azul, rosa?
Azul, por favor. Alright. I still need to learn the colors, but I guess azul is blue. Makes sense, similar to Spanish. What's nice as well, if you're living in a country, like everything that you read is also in the language. So that helps a lot, because even subconsciously when you're like too tired to study or whatever, you're still forced to read in that language. Which for me helped a lot, with Spanish at least. Sí, el azul. Obrigado. Muito obrigado. Como? Como?
Pão de queijo.
Que é pão de queijo? Isso?
É.
Sim. Dois.
Falou que ele tinha pedido. Não, parece que o outro que era...
Tá bom, não?
Yes,
Pão de queijo?
yes.
Sim. Mas tenho que calentar. Ou não? Calente.
Quente não. Quente
No? Okay. Obrigado.
Boa tarde, tá?
Alright, we got some other local stuff as well. No, tá bom. Obrigado. Oh yeah, that's right, milk. I need to get milk. Com licença. Alcatra moída. Alright. I think I have everything. So now we're gonna go to the register and try and make a little conversation. Olá, bom dia.
Tem cadastro?
Como?
Cadastro?
Com carta? Sim, crédito.
Não, CPF.
Aham, sim. Como se diz isso?
Carta
Em português, como se diz?
Carta moída.
Carne moída. Ok, obrigado. Eu quero aprender a falar em português. Mas é difícil, um pouco.
Mas com o tempo aprende.
Sim, mas o acento carioca é o melhor, não? Melhor? Sim? Ok. E a vela é isso. A vela.
Avelã.
Ok, a vela. Olá, tudo bom?
Forma de pagamento?
Com carta crédito. Carta ou cartão?
Cartão.
Cartão. Cartão crédito. Obrigado.
Foi, eu sei, que achei que eu sou idiota, vontade.
Como se diz isso?
Leite.
Leite. É similar ao espanhol, não? Você fala espanhol?
Eu sou pouco, não.
Ok. E como se diz isso?
Nota.
Nota.
Fiscal.
Nota fiscal. Obrigado. E bolsa?
Pão.
Pau?
Forma.
Pau e fopa. Ok. Ah, pau de forma. ok. Bom, muito obrigado. Bom dia. Alright. That went pretty well, I think. I think they went pretty good. Let's see if there's someone else I can talk to. Because now we're on the roll right here. Alright, and just like that, we got our groceries. We got a little conversation in. I think it went pretty well for the first day, but obviously I still sound like an idiot. But we're working on it. And now I can go back and study some more. Hola, bom dia. I can go back, study some more, see like whatever is lacking, whatever is missing, whatever I can improve on. But this is a good first step, I guess. I had a little bit of a conversation. I think they kind of understood me. And I feel like I always get like nervous to talk, but once I'm talking, I don't know, kind of forget about it. And this is day one. We got 30 days. So good start. Alright guys, so I just got back home from the grocery shopping, and now that I have some real life experience talking with people, even though it was very little, I can then kind of reflect on what I was talking about and where it goes wrong. So what are like some words that I should know? Like for example, I didn't know like how I would say I'm looking for this or I'm searching for this. So then right now I'm gonna look up what that means, and then to end it off with, I already added like the 8 most common words, and then here I looked up the 20 most common verbs, or 16 I think. So I'm gonna conjugate those in the present tense, then I'm gonna add the words that I was looking for while I was in conversation, like kind of analyze the conversation that I have, and then I'm gonna end with like some basic stuff. So I just thought of like the weeks or the days in the week and the months of the year, and then maybe I'll add like a couple of other random words, and then that will be all for today. I'm gonna add them all to Anki, and then to end it off with, I'm gonna watch a movie in Portuguese or a Brazilian movie with Portuguese subtitles. So that's day one. Right now I'm just gonna do some boring stuff. So just to end the day off with, I'm gonna add like the words that were missing, some basic words. I also thought of like bathroom, bedroom, living room, kitchen, this kind of stuff, and like maybe kitchen supplies, these kind of things, maybe table, chair, these basic words. And then, like I said, like add the verbs for the present tense, so that all of that is done today. And then tomorrow we're gonna make a next step. So maybe some basic sentences. What time is it? How far is it? How much does it cost? How are you doing? These kind of things. So this was day one. It's a 30-day challenge. And then hopefully by the end, at day 30, we can compare day 1 to day 30 and see how far I've come. If I can have some real life conversation, if I feel comfortable being in Brazil on my own and only speaking Portuguese. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this series, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and I will see you guys tomorrow when we go for day 2.